Good morning, everyone. We will begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama for protection and the permission to participate today in the divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Taka amahara ni kamuzumarimasu kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite sume miyoya kamu izanagi no mikoto tsukushi no himoka no tachi hana no odo no ahagi harani Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru harai dono o kamitachi moro moro no maga goto tsumi kegare o harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshio Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomoni ame no fuchi koma no mimi furi tatete kikoshi mese to kashikomi mo maosu Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Kam nagara tamachi hae mase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated for group Johrei. Meishu-sama. Meishu-sama's teaching for this morning is entitled God's Love, is found on the Daily Inspirations, page 70. How mysterious and wondrous it is. All our prayers are answered when our requests are right, virtuous, and sincere. The true power to save the world rests with God. Let us pray, deeply pray, to the great God of light. Some things that seem good, even right, through human eyes, may not be so in the sight of God. Let us remain humble and discreet. People often fervently pray to God to save their lives or cure their illnesses. God's reply may be to remind them that such fervent and urgent prayer, done repeatedly, implies they don't have much trust in Him. God's blessings aren't dependent on the performance or frequency of one's acts of supplication or faithful affirmation. He knows we are dependent on Him and will take care of us. God's love for humanity is so great and so profound that people can receive limitless blessings and protection as long as they open themselves up to receiving such blessings. When people put enough trust in God and leave the matter in God's hands, God never fails to help them. If we detach ourselves from undue ego, worries, and attachment and leave the outcome to God, it is easier for God to extend a helping hand. Since God is all powerful and omnipotent, God can do anything. But if a person isn't in a condition to receive God's help, there is little God can do. If someone wants to receive it, that person only needs to become worthy of God's help through a change in faith, attitude, and behavior. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association Headquarters Morning Prayer and for joining us in prayers for world peace. This morning, I want to share with you the faith experience of Alessandra Kobayashi Bini Costa. She's from the Praça da Árvore Johrei Center in São Paulo. In February of 2020, Alessandra was laid off from the company where she had been employed for 3 years. Thereafter, she had several job interviews where she would reach the final stages of the selection process, but inevitably would not be hired. Over time, Alessandra began to worry as her financial reserves were being depleted. She was disturbed to see her husband working from Sunday to Sunday to pay their bills, and yet she was unable to contribute to their financial needs. Consequently, their unpaid bills continued to pile up. She was also troubled by the fact that she found herself unable to materialize her usual monthly donation, which she had always been offered with enormous gratitude. In her personal conversations with Meishu-sama, she constantly expressed that she did not just want to find a new job, but that she really wished to be able to use her skills so as to most effectively guide people to the divine work. At the end of 2020, Alessandra did some reflection and came to the conclusion that she needed to intensify her practice of giving herself in service and to dedicate her free time to serve God. As she lives quite a distance from the center, she is typically unable to frequent the center many times a week. Consequently, she made the decision to dedicate in service the whole day each Thursday. On these days, she would arrive at 9 a.m. and stayed there until 7 p.m. Her aspiration was to strengthen and elevate herself spiritually through her dedicated service. In early January, right after the first Thursday dedication, she received her first blessing, an apartment that had been gifted to her as an inheritance by her deceased mother and had been laying dormant, was suddenly rented. The same day that the lease was finalized, a job recruiter called Alessandra to schedule an interview for the following week. Before the interview, Alessandra and her husband went to the center to pray and receive Johrei. To her delight and surprise, she was offered a salary in excess of that mentioned in the interview, in a position with greater responsibilities and with potential for further professional growth and advancement. Excuse me. As a way of expressing her deep gratitude, Alessandra offered a special donation in the full amount of her first salary paycheck. Currently, Alessandra finds herself working very happily and professionally fulfilled. She continues to actively give service as her work schedule allows. In January of this year, 2022, Alessandra and her husband were given the special permission to receive their home altar. Alessandra is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama for what she has been blessed to experience, through which her conviction about the importance of commitment in serving the divine work has been greatly reinforced. She is also thankful to her husband for his support and companionship in building together a home of light. Thank you very much for attending this morning service, for listening to this beautiful faith experience. I wish you a very blessed day, a very blessed week. This concludes our morning service.